Hello everyone, it's Sylvia here again. It's Monday and it's motivational message day. Last Friday I decided, despite the cold, I would wrap up warm and go for a walk. And I want to share with you a lovely act of kindness. That's the message I want to get across today, is about acts of kindness. I was walking along by the canal, which is well and truly frozen. Couldn't see any of the usual ducks and coots and moorhens that are usually around. I expect they were snug along the bankside somewhere, hiding under the plants that grow along the edge there. Anyway, walking along, I noticed a gentleman squatting by the edge of the canal, and then out in the canal on the ice I noticed the most beautiful female swan. He was there with bread and he'd broken the ice for quite a way out, as far as he could manage, to create an area for the swan to come and float on. I said to him, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said. Oh, he said, "Well, the thing is, if that swan stays on the ice too long, her feathers will get stuck to the ice." He said, "Just like if you put your hand on ice or your fingers on ice, and eventually they stick to the ice, don't they?" And I said, "Yes, I know about that." And so he said, "What I'm trying to do is get this swan to come into the water, with teasing her with this bread so that she's safe." As I walked along further, having had a little chat with him, I thought, what a wonderful act of kindness. I know that many people, when the weather's so cold, they do feed the birds and make sure that animals are nurtured in that way through the really cold weather. It touched me really, because it made me realise how many acts of kindness do go on, and maybe we don't actually notice them. Are we actually aware? Are we walking about in awareness to acknowledge acts of kindness? How many acts of kindness we do ourselves each day? And are we carrying our acts of kindness to ourselves? Because that's equally as important. So that little story illustrates the whole concept of how important acts of kindness are. And I'm sure that gentleman, having enabled that swan to get into that bit of water there in the canal, felt a lovely warm feeling inside, having helped that swan. And it's the same when we do acts of kindness. However small they might seem, it might only be a smile to a stranger, but maybe that's the only smile they get that day. Saying hello to somebody, or just having a little chat with somebody when really you're quite busy rushing around the supermarket, but somebody interacts with you. Maybe they needed that little chat. Maybe their day's not going too well, and maybe that's the only person that they'll meet that day, you. So this week I want you to go out and just be aware with your eyes and your mind and your ears. Notice acts of kindness and see how many extra acts of kindness that you can do this week, and see how that makes you feel inside. When we're kind, we put out a lovely vibration to the universe, and the universe then wants to send kindness back to us in many ways. So it's so important that we carry out acts of kindness. And as I said, but don't forget also, be kind to yourself. So that's it for this week, and I'll be back again next Monday. Keep warm, be blessed, and have a